Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Full Quota Podcast. This is probably going to be one of the last few episodes where we call it the Full Quota Podcast. We are about to rebrand, and so we're nearly there. We've got the finishing touches. We just need to change the color palettes and all this other stuff. But but thanks to everyone who supported us through this. But yeah, welcome to the Full Quota Podcast. We talk all things South African cricket. Everything. And today is a humdinger of an episode. We're supposed to do a Division 1 season preview, but do you know why we have this podcast on Monday? Tim, do you know why?
Because news breaks like nobody's business.
Monday, 10 o'clock at that CSA office is the wildest time because they always just bring out bangers, and we've got bangers for you. And I know that's why you're here, for the bangers and why we say this is. But anyway, in order to find out more about CSA's bangers and everything that's happening in South African cricket, please follow us on the Full Quota Pod on X. Please, because that's where the information is. Then, like Tim and I this morning have been typing away on X. You know, things are happening. There's a team in turmoil in Pakistan, not turmoil, but they're going through the most right now. There's another team going to Pakistan with, you know, some people coming back, which is wild to me. And then on top of that, that's where you get it, right? And then on top of that, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, where if you watch our beautiful faces, you'll find us there. Please like and subscribe there to make sure that whenever breaking news comes through, you know, you've got our opinions right there. And I'm sure you guys are chomping at the bit for my opinions on what's happened this week. And then finally, Full Quota Podcast and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please do go there if you want to be like me, you know, be able to do to go through that and listen, because I listen on audio most of the times. I do watch on YouTube, but I love, you know, being able to drive around and listen and argue with myself or Tim in the car. And then finally, please do support us by buying us coffee at buymeacoffee.com. That, you know, we welcome any and every contribution. We thank everyone who's contributed so far. The money that's gone in has helped us into, you know, producing extra content, as well as the ability for us to be able to rebrand into a more South African-esque name and the thing. At the time, we thought Full Quota Podcast was great because there was like a lot of black guys in Tim. And so we thought, hey, we met the full quota. But then now it's just me and Tim. And so unless if I'm a black African batter, which here or there, we don't meet the full quota. So we are moving into a new world where we're more accommodating of our new state, and we've been doing this for 4 years. It's been great, and yeah, may the fifth year bring even more success for myself and Tim. And finally, if you want to email us at sacricketpod@gmail.com, we love your stories, we love everything, all your emails. We read, we comment on YouTube and all these other platforms. We're very, very quick to do that because we respect you, our listeners and our viewers and our followers as well. We might need to ask for a nickname for the followers, so put that in the comments. If what you want us to call the collective. Are you the Slip Cordon? Are you, you know, Castle Corner or Cow Corner? You know, when we refer to you, do we refer to you as the Slip Cordon? Because, you know, Graham Smith, Mark Boucher, and every other captain and first slip used to have a relationship where they would have to talk through and ask for guidance. You know, when you don't have a wicket, we go to the Slip Cordon to ask for guidance to see if there's anything else, right? But Cow Corner is also great because that's a very famous African. Let me give you another name for the collective of our fans. Please do send it through either on YouTube or on the various platforms, or even send us an email. But anyway, today was a doozy. But this week was a doozy. CSA announced results. They announced that they made a profit for the second year in a row, which is really, really amazing. What it means is that, you know, sorry, bad podcasting. What it means is the organization is moving strongly, and that they've done a really, really incredible job in terms of getting sponsors, because the biggest issue was the revenue is always super sport revenue, and pretty much nothing else. We've got Supersport revenue, and now we've got SA20 revenue, and now we've got sponsors to sponsor the various teams. Suzuki now's come in, but there's many other sponsors. Every week is always a new sponsor being brought through, and this is really, really bodes well, because I think this year might be a linear, or will be a linear, largely because we don't have cricket in the summer, and so you might have a situation where you're not going to get as much as you can. And also, the only other tournament we've had from ICC is the Champions Trophy, and I'm not sure if they got a lot of money there. CSA made a 238 million net profit from also the broadcast income from the World Cups, distributions from the ICC, and sponsorships as well. And hosting ICC events also gets you money. So they've done really well to do that, and I think we're going to have to do more going forward in that. And yeah, all the best and well done to the board. The other thing that I would like to talk about before we go into the doozy. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we spoke about the Proteas Women's team. And we said that if Marizanne Cup, Laura Volfart don't play like the best in the world, we don't get far in this World Cup. We don't win games. We don't do anything. Today, so this ODI series, they've gone and done really well. We've beaten Pakistan handsomely. We've batted really well. We've put down scores of note. There's that one score in the second game. In the first game where we scored 292 in 46 overs, where Tasman Britt scored over 150 runs, 171 runs, 441 balls. Laura scored 100 there. And then after that, it was a 0-3-1 and 17 extras were the next highest batter. And then the next game was South Africa again in their innings, having batted first, with Tasman scoring 101 after Laura falling for 4, and Marizanne scoring 121, with Sune scoring 30 of 35. Optimistic? Yes, and we should be optimistic, because the players who are the best in the team are performing. And like any other team, Tim, that's what you want, because most games in any sport falls and dies with your best players. The only issue that we have is that the things we've identified are the problems we have not gotten an answer to. One, the bowling. Yes, we bowled out Pakistan in the first game, but we bowled them out for 287 in 44.4 overs, right? Chasing 287, I'm not sure if we will get there, but that's another. Like, I wasn't impressed with the bowling attack, even though obviously we had put up, the target was 313 and there was scoreboard pressure and all of that. But there's still some questions around our bowling. And then same thing with our bowling in the next game. We only managed to get them out for 4 wickets for the 255. So that's my worry. My worry is if it's a 250 plus score, should one of Tasman, Marizanne, or actually, you need 2 of them. Should 2 of Tasman and Marizanne and Laura not get into the runs, either score a half century or something, we're on a hiding to nothing. And that after them, it's just a precipitous fall in quality and form. And I know there are batters in there. Annika Bosch is great. Sune Lees needs to rediscover the batter inside of her. Annery Dirksen needs to do the same thing. But that is my issue with this team. For us to go far, everyone else that's not named Tasman, Laura, and Marizanne from the batting side needs to find a way to get us runs and needs to find a way to find form. And all these 2 innings did was that it denied them of crucial batting opportunities at the right time. Enter ODI number 3. Laura's gone out early. They promoted Karabo Meso to open, which I found very interesting. But anyway, no Tasman, no Marizanne, 115 all out. There was a point where we lost 6 wickets for 67 runs. And all it took was our ability to play spin. And yes, those 3 are the best players who spin in the team. But at a moment where everyone else is supposed to shine, we fall flat. And I'm not going to take that we've won the series or anything else. This is the last match before the World Cup. And I need my middle order to come through for me And guys are not being able to play. They can't play spin. And yes, maybe the pitch has changed, and yes, there's prodigious turn, but this is raising alarm bells for me. This is like serious alarm bells for me. And then let's go to the bowling. Guys, I'm not sure. And my issue here is, if we play New Zealand, I see Pakistan, I see Sri Lanka, and I think they can cause an upset like they're doing right now. But my only issue here is, if we play New Zealand, India, Australia, and England, with the quality spinners they have, Amelia Kerr, you've got Alana King of Australia, you've got Sophie Eccleston of England, and then you've got the plethora of spin bowlers in India. Deepti Sharma, you can name them, they're all there. Does this batting lineup, minus those three, can they give us a score at least to get us to 250? Do they have it in them? And I know some people will say we're being negative. I wish they proved me wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. I'm going to go into every single game supporting this team like nothing else. But I want you to know where our weaknesses are. And our weaknesses are anybody who's not named Marizan, Tasman, or Laura. And then on the bowling side, if it's not Marizan and it's not Lefty, everyone else needs to find a way to step up. I know Nadine's done it in flashes, and I think they're going to use Nadine as a fast bowler. The batting lineup looks weird. Sinala Japta's batting ahead of Chloe Tryon. I don't know in what world that works. But I kind of feel like there's a point where Mandla needs to rely on his senior batters who've been here for the last 10 years. Sine, Chloe, they need to put foot. They need to step up. And then those who have been here for a while now, Annika Bosch. Yes, she's broken through over the last couple of years, but we've given her opportunities at the senior level. Annery Dirksen, you are ICC Emerging Player of the Year. We need results. Nadine, you've been in the side for 6 years. Aya, I don't know what's going on, but like, come on. Masabata, same thing, right? And maybe there's a resurgence, but you may be, going a little bit of the other way. To me, same thing. There was one who to me was CSA Emerging Player of the Year at the CSA Awards in 2019. We need that to me back. I'm not raising alarm bells, but what I'm saying is, if we lose or get knocked out of this World Cup early, before the semi-finals, I guarantee you it'd be one of those two things. That everyone else who's named Tasman, Marizan, Laura, and Lefty didn't come to the party when the others didn't as well. Because the reason why this tournament is only going to survive if those four have an incredible tournament. Lefty becomes best bowler in the world. Marizan is the best all-rounder in the world and MVP of the tournament. And then you have Laura and Tasman top 5 in the run scorers charts, because we don't give them an in, because that opening partnership scores all the runs in the 50 overs every game. And that's how we win. Okay, maybe 45 overs and then everyone else can fill in. But by that time, we'll have broken the back of the other team. And all we just need to do is hold on with the ball. Tim?
Absolutely right. Before this series started, we said these are the areas of concern. These are the areas that they need to focus on. What have we learnt throughout the series? Nothing. We know Tasman's brilliant. We know Laura's brilliant. We know Lefty's brilliant. We know that. What we don't know is why the others can't contribute runs when our top girls fail. That is a massive concern. Now, you're absolutely right. We got a lot of pelters this last week for our negative vibes with our predictive chances for the women. But we're realists. We are genuine realists. We want them to do well. Of course we do. But you look at this series. It's not just the batting. It wasn't just the batting. It, as you say, was the bowling. And also, it was the bowling. Look at the drop catches in Game 2. Look at the drop catches there. There were 4 or 5 catches that should have been caught. Very, very gettable catches. So you've got most of the batting struggling, most of the bowling struggling, and catching not up to standard. That's not conducive to having a successful campaign. Now, they can turn it around because they are good enough. This is the best squad available that should be there at the World Cup. It's not as if there are tons of people knocking on the door outside of one or two that we have mentioned in previous weeks. But it is alarming that so much pressure is on the same four players game after game after game after game, and nobody else is taking responsibility. A lot of these players have been playing for the side a long time. They're not 19, 20, 21, just starting out in their careers. Only Mian Smith is of a genuine new fresh face, and Carbomeso. Everybody else has been around the team and played for the team for a considerable amount of time. It is hugely alarming that we are being games that should have been won much quicker are not against a team that we should be on paper an awful lot better than, even in their own conditions. We really should be beating Pakistan comfortably, and we haven't in this series. If they had caught a bit better, they could have won one of those games. Their catching was also problematic. It's a huge concern going into the World Cup in a few months' time. It's a real problem.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The form that Tasman Brits is in is out of this world. It is otherworldly, right? There's like 5 centuries in the last 7 games, right? And she's crossed 50 how many times? 4 times or 7 times and converted 5? That's insane, right? That 177 was so dominant, it was just unbelievable. That is something I'm holding on to. Laura is something I'm holding on to going to the World Cup. Marazan is something I'm holding on to this World Cup. Lefty is something I'm holding on to this World Cup. And another thing I'm holding on to is that everyone else is going to come and give us a game or so. You must have every game. There must be like this was the game Nadine contributed. This is the Nadine de Klerk game. This is the Annika Bosch game. Like that semi-final when we beat Australia, Annika Bosch had a game, right? And so for me, that's where I'm at, right? I'm really hopeful. Tasman is giving me the biggest hope in the world, and I'm going to die on that hill all the way to the bank. The only issue is everyone else needs to step up. They really do need to step up. They really do need to step up. Currently, they got bowled out for 115 and Pakistan at 28 for 1. So guess the pitch is not an issue today. Somehow people can't play spin. That was the one. There were some balls from Nashra Sandhu. Woo! Yeah, anyway. You guys are not here for that. So, there's a saying. Well, one of my favorite TV series, How I Met Your Mother, says, nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m. Nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m. You must be in bed. You must be asleep. You mustn't be outside. You must not be answering phone calls. But at 2 a.m., somebody who is an ex of ours decided to send the "you up" text to our coach. While he was being in Australia, I assume Shukri was in Australia. It obviously was 2 a.m., but I'm assuming Quinny was like in the afternoon on some boat somewhere in South Africa on some actually. Let me call this guy and let him know what I'm feeling. Quentin de Kock is back. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I am excited. I am so happy. And you guys can't come and say Quinny's old. You know Quinny's not old. Quinny's 32 years old. He's not old. He can give you if you guys are still asking for Rassie to come into the team, Quinny's the option. And do you know why I want Quinny back in the white ball team? Do you know why? Because he's our greatest ever gloveman. Don't come at me with Mark Boucher. Don't come at me. Also, in T20s, the strike rate he was built for this version of T20. He wasn't built for that earlier version of T20. Yes, he would give us a foundation, but then after the power play, everyone would just go into that little lull where we go at 100 strike rate. You guys have been asking for guys who can strike at a strike rate of above 140 consistently. We don't have that in South Africa. Enter QDK, calling the coach at 2 a.m. on some, hey, I'm available for selection. And Tim, did you see what team he was put under there, by the way?
No.
He's playing for the Lions.
Oh,
that's his
somebody
union.
assist. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite
so,
right. Yeah.
I don't know. CSA T20? Just to warm up for SA20? I don't know. I don't know how you feel. But anyway, Quinny's back. I'm excited. I understand the whole flip-flopping and coming back, but we're all adults here, right? Everyone in this thing, including these youngsters you're fighting for, they're all adults. They earn salaries, right? They go to Woolies and buy groceries. Yes, they do. So here's another option. It gives us depth. It gives us options. Ryan can't find the middle of his bat. This is an option to take the keeping away, to put him down at the bottom of the order, 5, 6, somewhere there, or even 4, and ease the pressure off of him because Quinny's back. Right? Quinny is Quinny. And then, so here's the thing. This is what I did. You see, we can all go to Quick Info. Quinny's record in T20s: 2,504 runs at an average of 31 and a strike rate of 138. Right? Okay, cool. Scored 115 and 15 50s. In his, trying to go to the year, in his last 5 years for the Proteas from 2020, he has had a strike rate of 170 in 9 matches in 2020, a strike rate of 131 in 14 matches in 2021, a strike rate of 137 in 15 matches in 2022, a strike rate of 183 in 3 matches in 2023. But in 2024, he played 12 matches and he had a strike rate of 146. The only thing I'd want to see is what Quinny looks like now. But he's in these squads. The squads have been announced. I'm going to go through the squads. He's in these squads. He's definitely going to play. This is a batter I want. Yes, maybe because we haven't seen him for the Proteas and he's been doing this little hit and giggle around the world. We get it. We don't know what version of Quinny we're going to get. And the IPL, he was a little off color, but they still believed in him to start him in most of those games. There's still value in Quinton de Kock, and there's still value in having Quinton de Kock there. What does it say to the other kids, the younger kids? Put on your big boy pants and go and score some runs at a high strike rate. Luandre, exactly. Develt's in the team, Matthew Brzezinski, Jordan Hardeman. You want to name them all to me? Put on your big boy pants and show us that we don't need Quinton. Because at this point in time, what you saw in England and what you saw in Australia and what you saw last year against India, that embarrassment cannot happen. And I think with Quinton in this new show-off regime of Shukri, Aiden, Quinton, who bats at number 3 in T20s for us?
I don't know, but I'm just gonna let that slide. It doesn't matter. What I'm gonna say though is just that it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. It strengthens the team. It makes it more balanced. It's great news for the team. It gives us a far better chance of winning silverware in the white ball format. Absolutely, it ticks all of those boxes. Absolutely. I just hope I hope he is focused. He says he's focused. He's focused for both formats. He says he's got plenty to give still. I hope all that is because he did not have a good CPL. His strike rate at the CPL in 10 matches was under 120. And that's not an endorsement of a man who's in cracking form. So I'm just saying, I hope we don't see that Quinny. I want to see the focused Quinny, the Quinny that we know how well he can play, and how successful he has been. And a good Quinny is a very, very good addition to this side, and a
A
much needed one.
motivated Quinny. A motivated Quinny.
Motivate.
Because the way I play this as Shukri is that your position is not guaranteed. I'm going to give
Of course
you
not. Yeah.
3 chances against Pakistan in the T20s. If you don't blow the door down, you're not coming back. It's that simple. Right? Yes, maybe we'll wait for SA20 and we'll see what happens there. But you need to show me that you're not the same Quinny that goes with the wind. The same Quinny that when he's not inspired doesn't care. Because we know, and he used the word enigma. That's who Quinton is. Right? He's an enigma. And yes, guys like Ricks have worked hard for their spots. We're not saying Ricks must leave the team. What we're saying is we need depth and guys who can consistently strike at above 140. That should be our line of demarcation. Right? Brevis can do that. Miller can do that. Aiden, we're putting him in there because there's potential for him to get there. But even obviously, the captaincy and everything else will give that to him, right? He's the only one who gets a pass. Everyone else does not get a pass. Everyone else does not get a pass. And right now, we're short of 2-3 batters who can do it. We've seen Luandre, we've seen his promise. It hasn't translated into T20s. But they've got opportunities. I'm going to go through.
Yeah.
Yes, Tim?
Yeah. No, I just wanted to add, we were discussing after what happened in England, the problems with the team. Some were saying, let's bring back Russie. I was going youth, and let's go and give Herman another shot. If you give those two, and then you add Aiden to the mix, not Aiden, Quinton to the mix, you're picking Quinton every day of the week. So this is fantastic news. It's exactly what this white ball side needed. Exactly. And you're quite right to say, as long as it's motivated, it is fantastic news.
As well as in T20s, in ODIs, right?
Yeah.
Look, Ricks is probably more adaptable as a youngster. You can play Ricks at 3. You've got Bretsky, who's playing really well. You need some sort of a Timber insurance card. And I think Quinny could give you that insurance. And if we really are forcing this Aiden thing at the top, I miss I would love Quinny and Timber at the top. Aiden at 3, Britsky at 4. You can figure out if Ricks makes your team or not, or Ricks at 4, something like that. But for me, my axis is around that. And I also want him to shout Timber again. But I'm all for it. If he wants to come back to Test match cricket as well and play Test cricket, happiness. Carl's gonna kick me, but I don't care. I
don't think it's happening. That's not happening.
This is what winning does. And this is what a good culture does. And it's such an indictment, such a big tick to Shukri and what he's building. That the culture is so great that guys are wanting to come back and wanting to play. There's one other player I want back, and you guys all know. If we're all in this love back territory, if we're all in this asking for guys to come back, people to call you, right? You guys can tell me if you hate me or not, or hate the suggestion. Heinrich, pick up the phone. Please, dude, pick up the phone. Please pick up the phone. Quinny called the guy at 2 a.m. in Australia. Well, in Quinny's defense, I don't think he knew what time it was in Australia, but either way, it's a beautiful story. Beautiful, beautiful story. Pick up the phone. Call the man. Tell the man you want back in. Let's make this team a formidable batting lineup. Imagine. And that's what Quinny does as well. Add him in there, someone else needs to be worried about. Yes, we know he's got his weaknesses and teams play to his weaknesses, but that opens up the lane for Aiden. Opens up the lane for other people. And that's what we want. So Tim, I'm just going to go through the squads, and then we'll just talk on them for like 30 seconds, so everyone knows, and then we go to our Division 1 preview. Whew,
yeah.
Lots of work today. Lots of work. Okay, so let's start with the test team. Quinton's not there, but a friendly face is back, Tim. Simon Harmer. He's back in. Aiden Markram is captaining the side in the absence of Timber, who's still recovering. He'll be ready for India. David Bedingham, Corbin Bosch, Deva Brevis, Tony Dezorzi, Zubair Hamza, Simon Harmer, Marco Janssen, Keshav Maharaj, Vian Mulder, Senran Mutasami, Kahiso Rabada, Ryan Rickleton, Tristan Stubbs, Brendan Subrian, Cal Verena. It's good to see Subrian in here. And I can see that Simon Harmer is the cover because Keshav's only available for the second test. He's also dealing with a niggling injury. Are you happy with the squad? I see Zubair's in, and it looks like the way he's picked his squads is that Zubair actually might start.
I'm happy with the squad. I'm a bit surprised in the return of the prodigal son.
Simon Harmer.
But Simon Harmer, absolutely. Prodigal son, absolutely. But what I would say is that to me signals to Subrian and Sen, you guys are not doing enough. That's what it says to me. It says, you guys are not doing enough. I wanted to play both of you, particularly if Keshav is not available for the first test. But actually, I'm probably going to go with experience. I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised if Simon does not play the first test.
I'd also be surprised too, and I'll tell you why.
Surprised.
I'd be surprised if Simon doesn't play, if Sen doesn't play, and Subrian doesn't play. Let me tell you what Coach Shukri said today. He's probably going to play Kagiso and another fast bowler between Marco Vian. I think Corbin is cover. He is thinking of going in with two seamers and a whole lot of spinners, which is why Sen is in, Pren is in, and also Simon Harmer. Yeah. And so when Kesh comes, so we might go in with three spinners and one spinning all-rounder in Sen, and one of the two fast-bowling all-rounders, either be it Vian or Marco. But I do think Vian makes the side as a batter, and then you go Marco Kagiso and your three seamers. So you still go 6-5, but with Vian as you in your top six. It's a little spinner heavy, but
it is. I also think that the Vian experiment at 3 might not happen in Pakistan. I think the inclusion of Sabir says to me that Hamza might be playing at 3. Vian will play, absolutely. But I don't think he's going to be batting at 3 in those conditions.
Yeah, what Shukri did say is obviously they haven't had a lot of opportunity to look at Subrian, but yeah, they're just looking for options right now, and I think that's what kind of Simon gives him that as well as cover as well. But I do think Simon ends up starting as the world's best off spinner in the last decade. Okay, then the Proteas are playing an ODI series, but they're resting a lot of their test players. And so this team will be captained by Matthew Bretsky. They've got Corbin Bosch, Deva Brevis, Nandre Berger comes in, Joe Kutsia comes in, so does Quinny, Tony Dezorzi, Donovan Ferreira, Bjorn Fortain comes in as well, George Linda, Gwena Mapaka, Lungingiti, Ngaba Peter, Luandre Petores, and Sinatemba Kleshila makes a potential debut coming in off of his 100 in SAA. I'm happy with this Kleshila selection. I think it's a long way waiting. He's had some ups and downs, but I think we've picked him at the right time. And yeah, Lungi comes back. Lungi's not on the test side because horses for courses. But I like this young side. It's a look into the future, right? Outside of the spinners, this is potentially what might happen post 2027.
Yeah. So just to clarify, basically the only players for the test squad that are going to be in the white ball setup are Corbin Bosch and Brevis. Everybody else from the test squad is going to be rested for the white ball leg of the series. Just to keep that in mind. Look, I was furious when Kashila got his T20 debut. Not against him, but I knew it wasn't going to work. I knew it was too soon, and I knew the T20 cricket was not his format. So I was furious. And his career basically stalled for 2 years from that moment. It basically stalled for a range of reasons. I'm delighted that he seems to have turned the corner, find their consistency, and this selection to me makes a lot of sense. We know we need black African batters. The boy is in form, played really well against New Zealand Day. I'm very happy for him.
Mm.
And I hope George plays. That's all I will say. I hope George plays. Don't pick him if you're not going to play him.
Okay. I'm with you there. Don't pick him if you're not going to play him. I'm happy George is in. So now the teams are going to play three 220s against Pakistan and one against Namibia to open their new stadium. That's actually the day before the test series. So there's a lot of stuff, but we'll explain to you now. So the Pakistan T20 series is going to be captained by David Miller. It's got Corbin Bosch, Deva Brevis, same from the test team. And then you've got Nandre Berger, Joel Kutsia, Quinton de Kock, Donovan Ferreira, Reza Hendricks comes back in for Tony DeZorzi, if you want to look at ODI and T20. George Linda, Gwena Mapaka, Lungingiti, Ngaba Peter, Luandre Pretorius, Andile Similani, and Lazard Williams. This is very similar to the team that's going to play Namibia, barring the fact that David Miller's not going to play against Namibia. Is this Shukri telling me that Rassi's no longer in the picture? Because Reza's in, but where's Rassi?
I said to you guys months ago, I said there's going to come a decision between Rassi and Reza, and he's going to choose one of those two, not two. And I've said it for weeks now. The decision is made. He may not have written it down in print, but this decision is made. Reza is the one he's going with. He's made his decision. It's very clear.
Yeah, no, he's made his decision and it's very clear. And then finally, the T20 squad for the Namibia game. Donovan Ferreira is captaining the side. Nandre Berger, Gerald Kutsia, Quinton de Kock, Bjorn Fortuin, Reza Hendricks, Ruben Herman, Gwena Mapaka, Rivaldo Moonsami gets an opportunity here. I'm excited about this. Ngaba Peter, Luandre Pretorius, and Andile Similani. Tim's favorite, Jason Smith, and Lazard Williams.
Happy.
Tim, what do you make of this?
Very happy. No, this is good. This is good. And another audition for Ruben to get another performance with Proteas colours. Rivaldo's always been a talent for years now, and he seems to have found some sort of consistency at the Titans. So hopefully he will get the game. It's good. It's just say this is now youth. Another audition for Gerald. This coming month or two for Gerald is very, very important because he is behind people like Bosch and Berger and the likes of those fellows and Lungi. Very important for him that he comes up trumps injury free and gets wickets.
So too for Reza and Quinton, if they want to be in the reckoning, we are needing batters and some fine performances here. Doesn't matter who the opposition is, will get you on the plane to India. And to a certain extent, that's what you want because after India, that's the cutoff. According to Coach Shukri. After that, we move on. We pick the World Cup squad and we travel with them. So interesting times there. And also for the guys like Andile Similani to round out the 15 as other all-rounders, fast bowling all-rounders. He may not make this World Cup, but, it's time for you to, be ever present in squads and the like. And I think it's an opportunity there. And then Rivaldo. He's one of the other guys that want to try as those high strike rate batters in T20s. It's an opportunity for him to show us at the international level that he can actually do it. And who's to say one incredible performance against Namibia doesn't get him on the plane to Pakistan. And next thing he's there with everyone else. But let's see. But playing for the Proteas is a special thing, and congratulations to everyone. And those are the squads. So Monday is problematic because it's taken us 40 minutes to get to this point. Okay, the season starts on Thursday. We've got games on Thursday, and it's going to be quite exciting because the domestic season starts. This is our podcast is based on the domestic season. This is what we do. We're really, really there. The start of the season is upon us, and what we wanted to do was was talk about the teams and preview the the domestic season and see, you know, what you guys can expect from the teams, and and be able to, you know, get to know the squads a little bit more and who's moved where. Okay, so Tim, let's start with those who have moved. I'm trying to find this week's fixtures, but let's start with the players who have moved. We've got the likes of. Let me just put a banner. Yeah, we've got the likes of Alfred.
Just to explain, these are the colors that they are now wearing, not where they have come from. So
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me do that as well. Let me get that for you. So Alfred Motwa is now with Northwest. I think it's a really, really good appointment. Well, signing for them. And then you've got Ronaldo Meyer, who has moved to KZN Inland, which is the Tuskers. He moves from he moves from the Warriors. Darren de Pavillon also moves to KZN Inland. He moves from the Dolphins themselves. Marco Janssen and Duan Janssen, the brothers, moved to the Titans in some sort of package deal from Northwest. Horace Foyun moved from Northern Cape to the Tuskers. So does Bamani Krengle, who comes from the Northwest. Mornay Fenter, who comes from Division 2, has moved to Northwest. And then Gideon Peters has moved to the Warriors from Northwest. He's a fast bowler. Biggest trade of the season, biggest signing of the season is the top wicket taker in this new provincial setup, ex-franchises Bear Swanepoel. He's moved to the Lions from the Warriors. Potential three-peat defining move by the Lions, and Tim's not happy about that. Diego Rosier is now at Northwest, so is Jade de Klerk. Jade de Klerk comes from Border. Jedley van Breesies goes to Boland. He was at Southwestern Districts. Thomas Kaber is now at the Warriors. Apuem Nyanda at the Warriors as well. Onke Nyaku is now at Northwest. Mudiri Diteko and Cohen Mangru are now at the Warriors. Dion Forrester has moved to Northwest from the Free State, exciting young batter. Matthew Boast is now at the Warriors from the Titans. Mohammed Manak is also at the Warriors. Sia Plaiki comes from the Warriors to the Lions. Tepo Moreki goes back to Western Province from the Lions. Junaid Dawood moves across the XK to the Titans. Wesley Beja is now at the Warriors from Western Province. Joshua van Heerden leaves the Titans and goes to Western Province. Wayne Parnell moves from Western Province to the Tuskers to kind of reinvigorate his career. Jivesh Pillay, Jiv is now at Western Province. And then Andile Mokhakane is now at KZ, back at the Tuskers from his sojourn with the Warriors. Mohammed Bulbul is also at the Tuskers. And then Lesego Senokwane is now moved to the Titans from Free State, and Tabile Tlatuka and Neelan van Heerden. Remember, we had an interview with Neelan van Heerden. He's moved to the Northwest. Tim, if you look at this list, which transfers are you excited by the most?
So the two best teams are Northwest and Tuskers. Northwest needed some firepower. They've got Diego Rosser and Dion Forrester. And I think Jade de Klerk's also a smart signing. Not necessarily sexy. A Division 2 side always needs pace attack in Division 1. And they've made sure. Tuskers have made sure. Very good from Ahmed Amalat to Pavlon, Meyer, and Hardest Villian. They've now, and Point Parnell, they've now got a proper four-man pace attack that can compete at this level, which will give them a real chance of staying up. Those two teams are the standout teams in terms of signings. Warriors always seem to sign well, but they never really click as a team. They don't go to finals, they don't win stuff. But those two teams, Northwest at the Tuskers, those are the ones to watch out for. So obviously, to players to watch out for, you have to watch out for Dion Forrester. Dion Forrester from Division 2, Division 1. Everybody knows he's got the goods. He just now needs to do it on a consistent basis. Gideon Peters. We need extra pace reserves. We need the more pace we get, the better. I think there's a player on there. Hopefully, Robbie P can be our best and Gideon, find some consistency.
And
those
Wesley.
two there. Yeah. And Wesley. Wesley, I was surprised that Wesley left Province. I don't know what the reasoning was, because he was playing regularly. But maybe it was because of Mareki's return. Maybe that would mean his game time would be limited. But I was always a big fan of his. He did well for us.
Yeah. And then one last, just a correction. Mone Fent is actually not going to Northwest. He went to Northern Cape from Limpopo. So that's just one thing. So if I'll be remove his name.
Apologies.
If you're not seeing Mone Fent this week for Northwest, don't be like phoning him and be like, hey dude, what's going on? Okay, let's now just go through each of the squads just to talk about, what they look like in totality and what we like and what we don't like. So we're going to start with the Warriors, the men from Gqeberha, with their squads. Just let me move I just need to do some podcasting here, moving banners and things across. Look at that, lively. Okay, so Matthew Bretsky, Jordan Herman, Matthew de Villiers, JP King, really good youngster, Mohamed Manak, another top order batters, Natim Klashila, Jean Duplessis, Mudir Titeko, Patrick Kruger, Duan Olivier, Gideon Peters, Ntando Soni, Kerwin Mangru, Wesley Beja, Matthew Boast. And then obviously the CSA contracts, Tristan Stubbs and Mutusami, Senra Mutusami. Then the high performance contract, Jordan Morris, Ethan Frostler, Thomas Kaber, Jason Robbenheimer, Kyle Glenister, Wezo Gliba, Apu Mnyanda as a rookie, and CJ King as a rookie on both those contracts. I've always liked the Warriors team. On paper, they've always been great, Tim, but when you put proof to the pudding, it never worked out. They really did struggle last year, and the loss of Bear Swanepoel is going to hurt them a lot. And I think that's going to be one of the key things for this year. Can Gideon Peters, can Wesley Beja give you what you've lost in those, and Matthew Boast as well, give you what you've lost in those wickets. That's essentially what I'm looking at in this team. I like Jean Duplessis. We just want to see more from him. Mohamed Manak is a talented batter. So too is JP King and Matthew de Villiers, who showed us glimpses last year. Very strong batting. It's the bowling that's going to be questionable here. Across all formats, actually.
Yeah, look, you could come up with a really strong top 7 here. Really, really strong. That can compete with anybody. Jordan Herman and Kashila are in the form of their lives at the moment. So is Bretsky. That's really top heavy in terms of batting. But you're right, it's going to need guys who are not leaders of attacks to really lead from the front. So it's going to need a lot from Duan Olivier to lead people like Wesley Becher and Gideon Peters, who are still finding their way to domestic cricket, trying to find consistency. Same with Matthew Boast. I agree. It's a nice squad. I'm just not sure, particularly in the 50 overs and the 4-day stuff, particularly 4-day. Are they going to get 20 wickets? That's going to be a bit of a struggle. I think 20 wickets is going to be a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, but like in ODIs, and T20s, they could actually surprise, and that's where you might find the diamonds in the rough in Gideon Peters, Wesley Beja, Matthew Boast at those formats. I think, they're going to be also hopeful that Sen is not traveling around the world with the Proteas, nor Natim Klashila doesn't cement his place in the Proteas side, because that would just throw a spanner in the works there quite a lot. But that's I like this team. I really, really do, and I think they can do quite a lot. It's just that bowling just worries me a bit. But Duan is seasoned, and he can be a top wicket taker in this team. The new boys, the ones who've come back, are the Tuskers, the KZN Inland Tuskers. Michael Erlang is back. Malcolm Norfolk, Sean Gilson, Kagiso Rapulana, Cameron Strickleton, Ziad Abrahams, Sean Whitehead, Mbulela Budaza, Marcelo Pete, Wayne Parnell, Darren De Pavillon, Hardest Fulun, Adile Mokakana, and Ronaldo Mayer, Bamani Tenle. They've got Jack Lees on a high performance contract with Mohamed Bobulia, and Dando Zuma on a rookie contract in Chad Laycock. I like this team. I'm happy that they've improved on their bowling. I think last time their bowling really just didn't come to the party, even though they kind of held on with their batting. Their batting again is going to be quite reliant on Sean Gilson again, as well as uh, Cameron Shackleton and Michael Erlang. Kagiso Rapulana, I think he's past his prime. Not sure what more can he provide. Mokakane is back. They're going to be asking a lot from him. There's not a lot of experience at the top, outside of Rapulana, who's played for the Lions. But their bowling is pretty good, and could cause problems. You could have teams, 60 for 5, 60 for 6. Here with De Pavillon, with Parnell, with Viljoen, and possibly Mayer and or Bamani Tengle. So I like this team a lot from a bowling perspective. Just again, batting might be an issue this time.
Different objectives. Warriors need to go out and win something this season. All the Tuskers have to do is stay up. And have they got a squad that is capable of them staying up in Division 1? Absolutely. Absolutely. They have reinforced the place attack. I think they've got enough runs there. I think Mohamed Bulia from the 19 setup is incredible.
He's Thompson Davids. Yeah.
He is incredible, mature batsman. He's going to score runs in Division 1. I guarantee it. I guarantee he's going to score runs. Jack Lees was injured for last parts of last season. I hope that he is fully fit. I hope he gets going. He also, towards the end of the season, he scored big runs in the last couple of games when he was playing. He's also going to be very, very important. Those two youngsters, for me, have a very high ceiling. Really looking out for both those boys. But as I say, they've got enough to stay in Division 1 on paper. It's just about converting it. And Ahmed Amala is a very, very good coach. So good chance.
No, I'm with you. Got a good chance of staying up with the squad. Let's go to the boys from Pretoria, the boys in blue. Lots of players, yeah. We're going to start with with the high performance contracts because they can afford to. Yanku Smith, Skalk Engelbrecht, Steve Stolk, Merrick Brett, Letsolo Selimela, Jochen van Skalkbeek, Wisani Mushwani, Lesejo Koko, Shabana, Letabo Palamushaka. You've got Corbin Bosch, Neil Brandt, Deva Brevis, Junior Dala, Junaid Dawood, Donovan Ferreira, Dan Khalim, Duan Janssen, Simon Harmer, Heino Clausen, Siwanelo Makanya, Keegan Leankashe, Tepon Dwandwa, Rivaldo Munsami, Keegan Peterson, Andile Petluguaya, Luandre Pretorius, Lesego Sinokwane, Rulo Fanamava, and in the CSA contracts, Adam Markram, Lungingiti, Marco Janssen, Lazard Williams, and Gerald Kutsia. Again, what this team looks like outside of the Proteas is going to be quite interesting. But they have a team that can compete on all fronts, all three fronts. They just need them to come through. Heino Clausen playing for the Titans is going to be very interesting and potentially a game changer if he is available. The problem they had last time was the batting. It was a little bit light. Still a little bit light. Obviously, you've got the Neil Brands, you've got Spinello, you've got Keegan, you've got Heinrich, and then you need to kind of fill out that. And I'm assuming they're going to use some of the youngsters to fill it out. And they are hoping Luandre is not traveling with the Proteas all the time. But I'm assuming you have to take Luandre and Devalt out of this team now, which then creates gaps that they were filling with some very high-class batters. The question for them is form, in my thing. And then also from a fast bowling perspective, Joe Kutsia and Duan Janssen, They're probably most likely your two fast bowlers that you have, but you've got Yanku Smith here. You've also got Merrick Brett. So you've got some guys from the SA under 19s and the high performance contracts that can come in and do a job for you. So lots of promise in this team. Just a question of how you fit it all together. And they'll always be competing. They're the Titans. Look at the size of their squad. Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely. The performances of the guys that have been doing well for the Proteas, it's not going to rub off on this team. So if Corbin Bosch's performances, the Proteas are going to rub off on this team, then they're going to be dangerous. If Purvis's performances with the Proteas are going to rub off on the other players, if Jonathan Ferreira's return to the Proteas are going to rub off on the team and bring out the best of them, they're going to be very, very, very dangerous. Also a reminder, they've got a new coach. What's his name? Ruvash Gobind. He was recently, at one time involved with the Proteas setup. So this is his first throw as the head coach. It'd be interesting to see what his philosophy is and the changes he goes about making with this team. But they've certainly got the team to compete with their neighbours across the road. They definitely have the team to do it.
Yes, they do. They do have the team. Let's go down south to your side of the world, Tim, Western Province. The squad is filled up with Bjorn Hendrickson, Dane Patterson, Daniel Smith, Eddie Moore, George Linder, Chiveshan Pillay, John O'Bird, Joshua van Heerden, John James, Carl Simmons, Mihlali Mpongwana, Mtiwa Kanabe, Oliver Whitehead, Tapo Mereki, Valentine Gidime, Rai Daniels, Bon Gilem Funelwa, David Bedingham, Calvarena, Nandre Berger, and Tony DeZorzi. They've improved on their batting by adding Javeshan and Joshua. The question obviously is how's that going to go? The bowling, lots of experienced guys in the Hendricks and Patterson, and they can take a lot of wickets, and they've added another pacer who is knocking on the door of the Proteas in SAA, which is Tapo Mareki. Well, not knocking, he's an SAA. I think if Mihlali has a very good season like he had 2 years ago, there's a chance that Western Province comes out with something else as well. And obviously the availability of George Linder is going to be key for this team if they ever want to compete and contend. Am I wrong, Tim?
Yes, you are. I love the positivity. I don't know if it's fake positivity, but I'll take it as a good positivity for now. This team ain't winning anything. It's going to take a while for this team to gel. It's going to take a while for them to get used to the new faces, only a couple of new faces. It's going to take a while for this to marinate. All I will say is, particularly the white ball formats, keep an eye out for Oliver Whitehead. Bit of an all-rounder, genuine talent there, good striker of the ball, good pace bowler. There's a talent there. There's a talent there, and if he doesn't get enough game time because of for example, the Daniel Smith, George Linder, and Eddie Moore access that just plays every week, if he doesn't get enough game time, other teams should keep an eye on him, because I think he's a real find. But I think that as a team, they are going to struggle. I genuinely think it's going to rely on too many performances from the contracted boys to do the business.
Okay, now let's move to the team that is near me, the Lions in yellow, who had the weirdest season announcement ever and season opener party ever, with cricketers flying through the air on parachutes. But yeah, they Dominic Hendricks was doing it for the team, and he did it really, really well. Dom Hendricks comes back. Bjorn Fortuin, Josh Richards, Luto Supamla, Mitch van Beeren, Cody Yusuf, Evan Jones, Delano Portgite, Connor Estes, and Zubair Hamza, Bear Swanepoel, Ngaba Peter, Richard Seletswane, Wandile Makwetu, Sia Blakey. And then the CSA contracted players, a long list. Vian Mulder, Gwena Mapaka, Ryan Rickleton, Temba Bavuma, Reza Hendricks, Kakisora Bada, Rasi van der Dissen. And then the HP contracts, Kaya Fakude, Raik Patel, and Esosa Ihebva, as others as well. You can't look past this team. Very, very strong, I think, on all fronts. Tim, I can...
I'm not saying anything. I'm letting you talk. I'm letting you talk.
And yeah, oh man, nothing can be said about this team that hasn't been said before. But yeah, it's nice to be a Lions supporter right now, Tim, isn't it?
It's stacked. The only thing I will say is this is a big season for Joshua. Joshua Richards did not have a good season last season. We know the talent. He should actually be playing for SAA at the moment. That's where the SAA against New Zealand Day, that's where he should have been playing. He should have been in there, opening and doing the business, because we know the talent is there. This is a big 12 months, big season for him. But your team is stacked, bro. Yeah, your team is just
must be
believably
nice
stacked.
Must be very nice having money. But the guys who need to have a good season, he's mentioned Josh Richards. I think Mitch van Beeren needs to have a stellar season in white ball to be considered. He's another potential high strike rate hitter if you're looking for one across the white ball formats. Evan Jones needs to kind of show us that he's still an all-rounder that everyone follows. Delano Portgite as well. It kind of feels like he's being left behind in all the all-rounder discussions that we're having with Bosch, Mulder, and Janssen. And then I'm hoping Richard Seletswane has a breakthrough season. I hope he gets a lot of game time, and I hope he does the same too with Kaya Fakude. I hope they really, really get a lot of game time. And I also hope that Quinny doesn't travel a lot with the Proteas so he can dominate domestic cricket. One of Rassi and Reza are going to be staying here. So, that adds a lot more quality to this batting lineup going forward. So it's going to be quite interesting. And you can't look past Bjorn, because Bjorn in domestic cricket, Bjorn's one of the best all-rounders we have as a left-arm spinner. Okay, just to run through the next squads, you've got the Dolphins in Durban. They've got Tristan Lees, Kaya Zondo, Guhle Kele, Andile Simelani, Tsapang Ditole, Penlan Subrian, Othniel Bartman, Jason Smith, Bryce Parsons, John Smuts, Slade Van Staden, Marcus Ackerman, Ethan Bosch, Haniful Yoon, Ramoshan Pillay, and Ngobani Mukwena. I look at this and I'm like, from a fast bowling perspective, you got Oguhle Kele and Bartman. A lot's going to be on Bartman's shoulders to kind of bring it through. I'm liking I think it feels like they've gone younger with like Bryce Parsons looking at Slade, giving Ethan and Hanu a chance. And Andile Simelani, a lot's going to be sitting on his shoulders as well. What do you make of this squad, Tim?
They know what they're good at, and that's what they've trusted. They've trusted the tried and tested. Big seasons for Oatmeal Bartman to return to what we know he's capable of, and Bryce Parsons. Those two boys need to have big seasons. Big seasons. Need to come, particularly Bryce now. Bryce is no longer a fledgling youngster from the S19 setup. He's now a professional cricketer, plays every week. He needs to start producing on a consistent basis. I hope Slade gets good game time. That's one of my bugbears with this whole domestic competition, particularly the 4-day setup. I need more games. So I really, really hope Slade gets good, consistent game time. So I've got a huge promise for that boy. But Dolphins know what they're doing. They know their team. The squad knows each other. There's a good camaraderie there. Quinton Fred knows exactly what he's doing. It's just about everybody clicking at the right time. Solid squad, covers all the bases. There are no major weaknesses there. They know what they've got, and they know what their strengths are, and they will get win a trophy this season. What it will be, I don't know, but they will win a trophy.
Oh, big call there. They will win a trophy. Don't know what it'll be. Interesting. Yeah, it's a lot of faith in guys who, should be making that next step into the Proteas. Marcus Ackerman, Jason Smith, Bryce Parsons. Bartman needs to get back into the form. He was injured last year, so they're hoping that he stays fit. And Prince now traveling the world to the Proteas, so that's an interesting one. But it's going to be an interesting season for them. I think they at home they're going to be hard to beat. Okay, Northwest. The Dragons. Vian Liba, Lisibang Wepe, Renat Fantonda, Ruan de Swat, Ongenyaku, Diego Rosier, Ruben Hadman, Mikael Prince, Alfred Mota, Jay de Klerk, Miguel Pretorius, Dion Forrester, Yanaman Malan, Caleb Selika, Akila Kluter, Lutendo Sanwani, Ludwig Schultz, Nilan van Heerden, and Tobile Tlatuka. Again, I always say this, they know what they're good at. They know what they're good at, the white ball stuff. And I think this team is built for that. We need a bit more in the red ball from the likes of Reynard, Yanuman, as well as Lisiba. Bowling-wise, that's going to be the big question. They've got Neelan, they've got Miguel. They're going to need to step up a lot more. But anything with the white ball, I think they can do it, Tim. What do you say?
Yeah, well, I've actually predicted that they're going to win a trophy this season. I thought they bought so well for a team like theirs. They got the reserves that they needed. I think Jay de Klerk is a very, very smart signing. Yes, you're probably right. They could do with a hardest fielder in here. They could do with a bruiser. They could do with a guy who can rough it up. They're short of a genuine fast bowler. Genuine fast. Not guys, lots of medium fast here. They're short of a genuine fast bowler. But apart from that, they've bought really well. I think Diego Rosier, if the energy is there, if it's there, he's going to have a good season. Rubens just played for the Proteas. Jed Clark, excellent. Miguel Pretorius just won a trophy in the UK with Somerset. Yanaman Malan, hopefully Yanaman Malan will see the best of him. And our friend of the podcast, creative Neil van Heerden, has an entire season injury unscathed, and it has good numbers behind it. We really hope, as a friend of the podcast, hope that he does well.
Okay. And then one last thing is Abuelant. They came out last with their squad. They got Sean van Berg, Keith Dudgeon, Gavin Kaplan, Fresco Adams, Blade Capel, Ethan Cunningham, Emran Manak, Glinton Steedman, Nathan Jacobs, Siabonga Mahima, Lahan Bota, Giovanna Baron, Jedley van Bresis, Avwilem Kijima. Yes, sorry, I forgot his name. Avi. Sorry, just need to get his name.
I might have spelled it incorrectly. Apologies, but yes, Kijima. Yeah.
Aviwem Kijima. Yes. Yes. You got all the letters correct, Tim, just in the wrong way. So apologies. Ayabulela Kamane, Grant Rulofson, Akona Mnyaka, Peter Milan, Clyde Reeves Fortain, which is Clyde Fortain still. Just had a name change, which is awesome. Congratulations to him. Nathan Engelbrecht and Juan Rico Foster and Gisbert Vega. Again, I don't know how they stayed up last year.
Let me just say
how they're going to stay up this year.
4 weeks before the season started, which was on 4 weeks minus this week. 4 weeks ago, they announced their squad. 4 weeks before the season started. They then omitted Sean van Berg. Now, Sean van Berg is 39. I thought, well, fair enough, 39. Okay, you've done a fantastic season. a career, you've clearly retired. But I thought, where are these wickets going to come from? So I just don't see these wickets. Of course, that was a mistake. They left out his name in error. But even with him not retiring and still being in that squad, I look at this and I go, I like the batting. I like the talent, the youngsters there, Ethan Cunningham, Blade Capel, and Gavin Kaplan. I like that. I really, really do. There's a conscious decision to go with youth in the batting. Why isn't that done that in the bowling? Why haven't you signed a 25-year-old in the bowling department on those pitches in Poland? You're asking guys an awful lot. You're asking Mahima to do, and Van Berg to do it again, season after season after season. I think not signing a pace bowler or two is a really, really poor mistake for Poland. I think they're going to struggle this season. I really do. I hope I'm wrong, because I do live in the Cape, but I think they're really going to struggle this season.
Yeah, no. Are they a contender to go down?
Yes. If I'm looking at the squads now, I'm going, and I'm at Tuskers, I'm going, we have to beat them. We have to beat Poland home and away. We have to beat
across
Poland.
all formats.
Poland, if we beat Poland, we've got a great chance of staying up. That's what I'm targeting Poland, definitely. Undoubtedly.
Yeah, no. That is very, very true. We've got to beat Poland home and away. And yeah, we are there. And another team probably for the Tuskers is Northwest. You got to lay down the marker very quickly. And here's the thing. They have it this weekend or this week. So we've got matches this week to close out the show. On the first round of Division 1 games starts this weekend. Actually, let me also get you Division 2.
Only one Division 2 game.
Yes. Okay. What is that?
It's Easterns against. Let me just get it here. I did have it with me.
Easterns against Limpopo in Benoni at 10 a.m. at Willamore Park. That pitch must be so flat with all the cricket they've had. It's going to be, I think it might be a draw, but good luck to Easterns and Limpopo. Should be an easy win for Easterns with the way the squads are looking. Limpopo always just trying to find gems in the north, losing their best players to other franchises. It's going to be a tough going for them, and it should be an easy win there for Jeff Toyana and his Chargers. But Thursday we start with Boland against the Titans in Paarl. It's going to be a very, very interesting game there. Titans without all their Proteas, so that's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out. Then you've got the Warriors taking on Western Province in Gqeberha. So really interesting first game for Western Province and the Warriors. And then the third match in this week is the Northwestern Botch taking on the Tuskers, the KZN Inland Tuskers at 10 a.m. Another interesting game, and one of those games where if we look at the end of the season and Northwest are out or relegated, it could be this match. They really struggle in white ball formats, and this young Tuskers team has a real chance of laying down a mark and making sure that they stay up. And you don't win the title in September, but you can put yourself on the path to relegation early on. So these games in September are really, really important in order for people to go through and stay up. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Northwest lines up as well as the Tuskers. But outside of that, Tim, that brings us to the end of our preview show for the season. Good luck to all the teams and all the players. May you get as many runs as you've always wanted and as many wickets that you've always dreamed of. Any last words, Tim?
Yeah, we did do a Division 2 preview. If you just go to our archives 2 or 3 weeks back, we did do a Division 2 preview as well. So we've done both divisions. Go to the CSA YouTube channel on Thursday. It'll all be live streamed as usual, as it was last season. And obviously, we will put out all the links on our social media, and just keep an eye out for something exciting as we get closer to that first game of the season. Just keep an eye out on our various social media platforms, because there's going to be a change. Let's put it that way. There's going to be a change. Just keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, keep an eye out for it. We're nearly there at the rebrand. Remember, please do follow us on all the platforms. Also, please do buy some coffee at buymeacoffee.com/fullquotapod. And also, please send through your emails at sacricketpod@gmail.com. It's been a long episode. Thank you for bearing with us. We'll try and in the comments just put in the timestamps for you to be able to jump through and see if you don't have all the time in the world. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your support. And it's until our next episode, which most likely will be Thursday. It's goodbye and lesale kakagiso.